All right, welcome to a very special episode of Cosmic Road where we are joined once again by friend of the channel, John Stewart. Welcome back to the show, John.
Thanks, Jack. And this is going to be real quick, but um, I wrote you an email today because I had kind of put this Las Vegas alien incident off of my radar screen for so long until, again, like I said a year ago, a corporate work colleague of mine mentioned it today or yesterday afternoon. So
And,
that's
and of course, we're talking about the aliens in the backyard Las Vegas case, right? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
So a year ago, when it all happened, which was startling to me, um, a co-worker, in my corporate part-time job that I have in the automobile industry, said, "John, I know you're into aliens, and I've seen you on the internet and stuff." He goes, I have something to tell you," and I'm like, "Okay, go ahead." And he said it's about that Las Vegas alien case. I'm going to try and dance around this so we can't pinpoint who my friend is. But he said, I have it on the utmost authority that at least one of the responding police officers has not gone back to work.
What?
And he goes, John, if it was fake, if it was a hoax, if it was a bunch of malarkey, why would the responding officer take a leave of absence? I said, try to be a good investigator, right? A good reporter, a good digger of facts. I said, wait a minute, is he using this as an excuse to take a month off? I think, a police job is very taxing. I'm sure you're looking at times for any opening to take a couple of days here and there, right? I mean, that's, my God, the
I
stressful
would,
job.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. And he said, absolutely not. Quote, the guy is totally wigged out. And I'm like, Jesus. And Jack, I think I went on your show to talk about it, or I sent you an email about it, or I posted something about it, which I thought was really revelatory. Forget about what was there, what wasn't, what the CGI was or wasn't, the black creature by the fence, which I think is a really good analysis of that video. Forget about all that. The responding police officer didn't go back to work because he is mentally taxed. He's, so shaken up by the event. Okay. Again, folks, this is going to be real quick. I'm not going to go on and on. So I put it out of my mind. I have not seen a lot about it on the internet, as I'm sure you haven't either. We're on to bigger and better things. And so I see my corporate coworker yesterday. We had a big meeting. And he goes, crazy about that Vegas alien thing. I'm like, yeah, it's incredible. He goes, no, didn't I tell you? I'm like, tell me what? He goes, wait, I didn't talk to you a couple of months ago. I'm like, no, stop. What is there other news? He said, yeah. He said, not only the first officer, the second responding officer, folks, I'm just telling you what was told to me. I know I always use that caveat, but this is on almost firsthand story. Okay. The responding officer and the second backup responding officer, folks, listen to me, have not still returned to duty because they have been so mentally traumatized by what they, quote, saw in the backyard. So
Damn.
I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I had forgotten about the story. I'm like, I have got to email Jack. I think this is kind of explosive, interesting news. We can't let this story drop. And that's what I was told yesterday. And as I hold to my agreement, I'm always bringing everything to the internet, and of course to you, Jack, my Cosmic Road family. I just think that's explosive news that allegedly the two responding officers have not been back to work at their jobs.
Okay, so I know you're getting this from a source who claims knowledge of the situation, and you don't want to reveal who that source is
Yes.
specifically. But can you tell us how they would have come by this knowledge? Uh,
Um, by they know someone who talks to the one of the officers on a daily basis. This is how close we are.
Okay, so like a
Yeah.
friend of the family, almost kind of a
Yes, sir.
situation.
This is
Okay.
not a joke. This is not me looking for 5 minutes of fame. As soon as I heard this, how serious he was, and the second officer in the same mental the mental the consternation. I'm like, I gotta call. I gotta email Jack. This is pretty big news.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild. And,
Yeah,
and we're certain that this wigging out is because of the incident in the backyard and not some unrelated event.
yeah, no doubt about it. Totally due to the backyard incident. He said that the person was told, I saw beings. I did not see human beings. I saw beings. And the sentiment of the people in the know, I'm giving very, I don't want to blow anyone's, source, that he may never return. This is how disturbed they are. And he said, I didn't see a human being. I saw beings, multiple beings. So I just, think this is, and I wanted to share with you something else. Now I know people are going to be like, oh, another John Stewart story. When this first happened, and I want to get this straight so I don't mince my words. I was let into a email chain of current and periphery intelligence people discussing this case. And from what I read, I was only let in on one email chain just to prove that the government believed that this was about off planet beings. What was being talked about was very, very explosive. There was code words or vernacular. I'm an idiot, Jack, that I didn't understand. And I'm, typical of, inter, talk between intelligence people. They've got their own language, like pro wrestlers have their own language, and auto mechanics, and you know what I'm getting at. But I am telling you that from that email, from 8 they weren't counter intel, they were intelligence people. And from what I read, 6 of them were on the periphery asking questions to two intelligence people investigating the case, if that makes sense. And it was explosive. It was real. The investigation is real. And more importantly, these intelligence operatives were taking it real as an off-planet incursion on this property. I'm just telling you the absolute truth. I was let in on one email chain, and it was
I
terrifying to
believe
some
it,
degree.
and it
Just
makes
want to let you
it
people
makes
know that.
sense. It makes sense that they would want to be involved. That makes perfect sense.
Correct.
It'd almost be kind
Correct.
of weird if they didn't, since this
Yeah.
does seem to be a legit case. Do you have
Yeah.
any more information about that?
No, I don't. And I have told people this, when I first saw the names and I saw the faces on Wikipedia and Google of the men in the room of the alien interview. The first time I saw the monk, telepathic monk, as crazy as that sounds, it feels like you're looking in your father's top drawer of his dresser when you're 7 years old. It feels like you're doing something voyeurish to some degree. It to me it is disconcerting. It's when I was looking at intelligence operatives talking to each other, asking questions to boots on the ground intelligence operatives. It was shocking to me. Like, this isn't a joke. I mean, the police officer's not going back to work. I'm looking at an email chain between intelligence operatives discussing and wadding, questioning, legal term, questioning the agents on the ground. The government's taking it serious as an off-planet incursion of beings. I don't think this story is going away. I am just encouraging anyone out there that I'm not going to do it, but I think it's to the point now where someone should FOIA Las Vegas Metro or Las Vegas Police Department to see if these 2 officers are still on a paid leave. That would really back up what I have been told. But I would say at 97% confidence, you could take this story to the bank. And I just wanted to share it with you in my Cosmic Road family. I don't think this story is going away. And
Well,
that's all I have.
it makes perfect sense to me that, if there's aliens in somebody's backyard, that somewhere Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones are strapping on their dark suits. That makes perfect sense. But getting
Yeah,
back to the police officers that went to the site and that wigged out,
first
we
two,
we
first two.
the first two, we still don't have, as far as I'm aware, the body cams for those police officers. And the reason that was given,
Shocking.
the reason that was given was because it was in somebody's private property, even though we have aerials of every inch of that, backyard that we're talking about.
Now, you don't want me to call my commander friends from local suburban police departments and prove that that is the biggest. That's a joke. We've seen cam footage of people entering houses on a warrant, on suspicion, on a domestic welfare check. That's bullshit. That's
I
bullshit. And I didn't know that. And you're scaring me some now.
And we still don't have the body cams for the Miami
Yeah.
Mall incident too, if you remember that.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm
but
shocked.
yeah, I know, right, right. All right. Well, I know we wanted to do a short video, so
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming on the channel and for bringing us this juicy information. I hope that there's a way to do a follow up on this and to track down those first responders and find out exactly what the hell happened down there.
absolutely. And thank you for having me on. You're my favorite podcaster in the world. You're my cup of coffee in the morning. I always say this, but it's been a pleasure being your friend for 3 years,
Well,
and
thank you,
all your
John.
Cosmic Road viewers. I love all you people. You're hysterical. You've got great comments. And I read your comments on the chat post, and
All right, so
keep
be
it
nice,
coming. I'm
guys.
sure, Jack, you say the same thing. Keep them coming because they're engaging. They help everybody engage. It produces a family atmosphere, and I love it. And I just want to say hi to all of you and thank you for listening to me babble on today.
Well,
Thank you.
absolutely, John. You're part of my family now, and yeah, all my viewers are too, and I love
Yeah,
it all. And thank you for being my friend for 3 years, and thanks for coming back on the show. And we'll do it again soon. Is there somewhere where people can find you online, or any new projects that people should know about?
yeah, we're still finishing off a possible second documentary for Hunting Victor. It's the Hunting Victor investigation on YouTube, and I'm not on social media. I give my email, any revelatory information. Keep it coming because it comes every week. JONALANSTEWART at AOL.com. John Allen Stewart at AOL.com. John without the H, Allen with one L, and Stewart like Jimmy Stewart, the actor, at AOL. Please, I'm a great about responding to emails. If you've got any questions, any revelatory information, bring it along, pass it along, and I appreciate it.
All right, so cool, and thank you for coming on the show.
Okay. Thanks, Jack. Thank you, everybody.
All
Goodbye.
right.